So the Atlanta Hawks made one of the biggest moves in the 2022 NBA offseason, trading for All-Star point guard DeJounte Murray from the San Antonio Spurs. They gave up Danilo Gallinari and 3 first-round picks to do this, and now they are definitely one of the most talented rosters in all of the NBA. I mean, just 2 seasons ago, they did make it all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals with only basically Trae Young, Kevin Herter, John Collins. They weren't as good as they are now. So many people do think that they can make it all the way to the NBA Finals this season, and I'm definitely one of those people. The East, it is very talented now. They've got teams like the Bucks, the Sixers, the Heat, the Celtics that are all really, really good. I'm definitely forgetting a couple of others, but the Hawks definitely on paper are not worse than any of those teams. I mean, Trae Young, one of the best offensive point guards in all of the NBA, and DeJounte Murray, one of the best defensive point guards in all of the NBA. So I don't see how these two could not work together. I think that this could be one of the best duos, one of the best backcourt duos in all of the NBA, and I think that the Hawks, they could win a ring together. And you definitely cannot forget about their defensive front court there with John Collins and Clint Capella. The two of them have been playing pretty well together for the past few years. And now you've also got, 3 borderline All-Stars. 2 of them obviously have made the All-Star. John Collins is definitely good enough to make it there. Last year, once again, Trae did lead the team in scoring. He scored about 28 points per game, and he also did end up getting about 9 assists and 3 rebounds. So that's a very good stat line right there. We've also got, obviously, John Collins here, who averaged about 17 points per game, 7 rebounds, and then 1 assist. So the defensive side, yeah, he can get rebounds, he can play good defense, and I just feel like he is a perfect power forward to have next to Trae Young. Trae, he can throw lobs, he can pretty much do anything that you would want coming from your point guard, and he's got a great center and great power forward to do that. Capella last year averaged about 11 points per game. He got about 12 rebounds, and then obviously getting only 1 assist. That's fine though. His blocks are also very, very well. 1.3 a game is amazing. So I just think that Clint is a perfect center that you can pair next to Trae Young. So the Hawks organization has obviously done a very good job building this team around Trae Young. And yeah, I mean, they're hoping Onyeka Okongwu can be good for this team. If he's not, it's totally fine, but obviously that's the hope. They drafted him pretty high in the 2020 draft. He hasn't had the greatest career so far. In last season, he did average about 10 points per game. He did end up getting about 6 rebounds and then 2 assists, so not terrible. They definitely are expecting him to be a little bit better. He'll probably get a lot more minutes next season. Definitely, he will be coming off the bench. There's no reason for him to start just yet. And I'm honestly a believer in DeAndre Hunter. I think that he could be a really good player in the NBA. I think that he could be a quality starter for this team. I do think that they will end up starting him for at least majority of the season, I would say, at the small forward position. He last season did average 13 points per game. He ended up getting about 3 assists and then 3 rebounds. So those are good stats right there. I think that he could obviously be a good quality starter. I'm not going to say a superstar, but I think that he can get the job done for this team. He's a good offensive and defensive threat. He can shoot threes. He can play good defense, good 3-and-D wing. And yeah, I just see there's no reason for this team to trade him away. Obviously, DeJounte Murray has not had a very talented roster at all in his career playing for the San Antonio Spurs. He did play with DeMar DeRozan for a few years. That wasn't the greatest years of DeMar's career, but obviously playing with Trae Young, he is the best player that he has been able to play with, and obviously John Collins as well. So last season he did average about 22 points per game, almost 50% from the field, and then 8 rebounds and 9 assists. So he almost averaged a triple-double. I feel like he can do that when he's on the Hawks. He'll obviously get a lot more assists per game if you're playing next to Trae Young. You're going to be able to throw lobs to John Collins and Clint Capella. So I think you'll get at least 10 assists next season. Rebounds, I think they could be higher as well. Obviously, 8 is spectacular as it is. And then points per game, it'll probably be a little less because you're playing with a way more talented roster, so you won't get as many shot attempts. But obviously, he is the second best player on this team, arguably the best. And I would say Trae is actually the best, but obviously second best is still really good on a team that is good enough to make it to the NBA Finals. And I think that this team is going to be a threat in the Eastern Conference. So with that being said, that's all I have to talk about in today's video. If you enjoyed, hit that like button and subscribe for more Hawks and NBA content. And I'm out of here. Peace.